Cheers, cobber.
What's that?
It's some more Australian slang for you.
You know the Australian...
If you're going to get your citizenship,
I got to know that. Yo, let me
that.
tell you, somebody used to be like, yo, Corey, we got to get you a nickname. I was like, what? He was like, Kaza. He's like, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because there's Dazza. My cousin Harry, they used to call him Hazza.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bro. Cheers.
To a great 10 episodes.
Man, to a great 10 episodes.
Yeah.
We rolling? Oh, shit. Okay. Beautiful. Fans, friends, UPFRONT family, we appreciate you. This is the end of season 1 of UPFRONT, episode 10. Let's go out with a bang. We appreciate you for chiming in. And again, I would like for you to give us a review on what you felt about this podcast. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us what you would like to see more of in season 2. And we will do our best to facilitate that. Like, subscribe the podcast on the YouTube page as well. Nick, what you got? What would you like to say?
For the last time this season, we're back in the building, C-Dub. I do want to add to that. There's actually 3 people I just want to give a quick... We've given our listeners shout-outs throughout the season that we've done so far because they've been fantastic and the love that they've showed has been greatly appreciated. Without them, obviously, we wouldn't keep doing this. It does sound cliche, but it's true. But there's just 3 people I want to give a quick shout-out to. First one, I'm not going to mention him by name.
I want to give him a shout out, but I ain't going to mention him by name.
No, because he knows who he is, right?
Okay.
He's an Australian guy, works with the NBA Players Association over in New York. Hit me up, the other day, and he was like, man, I'm really loving these UPFRONT posts that you and Corey have been posting. He goes, you guys look like you're having a ton of fun. I'm loving it. Keep going. So shout out to you, Ragazzo. You know who you are. So definitely going to give him a shout out.
Much love.
Second person I want to give a shout out to is somebody that I've actually never met. You have, though. Now, this lady is a titan in the world of Australian basketball, and that's Michelle Timms, right? Now,
Legend.
Shout
out to Timsy.
Yeah, icon, right? Now, I've never met Timsy, but we've got a mutual friend, right? And she started following me on IG, and she always, every time we post something UPFRONT, she always likes the post. So she's given a lot of support, to the podcast, to me and you. And I want to shout out to Timsy. Thank you very much. We'll see you. It's definitely appreciated. And the last person I want to give a special shout out to is a guy that follows both of us, George Bakar. Now, I hope I said your last name right, George. But he always sends some positive messages, man, like some really super positive messages, and shows his support and shows his love. And we definitely appreciate it. He told us how much he's been enjoying the podcast. And I just want to say, George, man, we appreciate you, man, like more than you know. Definitely, Corey and I definitely appreciate.
Much love, G.
Yeah, we appreciate the words.
I never met him before. I met him on social media.
Yeah,
and he's been showing much love and support, man. Much love, G.
Yeah, so shout out to George Bakar, and yeah, hopefully we keep this train rolling for a season 2.
No doubt. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it, man. Talk to me. What have you been up to?
Well, last time we left here, we were up to something.
We were.
We went to the Netflix premiere of Breakpoint, which is a series that they dropped on Australian tennis. Obviously, Australian Open is in town. Shout out to friends of the program for the invite. And we went and saw episode 1 of this docuseries, and it was epic. Obviously, highlighting who?
Old mate, Nick Kyrgios.
And Thanasi Kokkinakis. Shout out to you.
Shout out to my Greek brethren.
Shout out to the Greek homies, right. What was your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts on it first.
First of all, I loved everything that Netflix did with that in terms of the premiere. Obviously, at Rod Laver Arena, we went to the screening, and they had like a little cocktail hour afterwards. And I mentioned it to you on the night. It did remind me, before we get into the actual, thoughts on the show, it did remind me a lot of New York, right? Because you and I used to do that a lot in New York, like end up at premieres and end up at events and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, yo, it's like we're back home at the moment drinking champagne. So that was really great. But as far as the Breakpoint series, you and I again spoke about it that night. I know you know Nick, you guys are friends. I couldn't think of a better person to start a series like that, right? Because when you're trying to bring in new fans, right? I feel like you've got to get the most charismatic person, the person with the biggest personality. And Kyrgios is a guy where you either love him or hate him, right? Like I've always been a Kyrgios fan. First up, strictly because, of the Greek connection in the beginning, right? I'm always going to support guys that have got a Greek background or a Greek. But Kyrgios is a fantastic tennis player, right? And when he wants to, he's one of the best in the world, right? And I like guys like that. I don't mind guys that can sort of talk, as long as you back it up, right? As long as you back, because if you talk the talk and then you don't walk the walk, it's all for nothing for me.
Right.
And that's kind of why I like guys like, J.R. Smith a little bit in the NBA. I love these type of guys that are a little bit sort of edgy, outside the box, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like these type of shows and these type of series, and you saw it with that F1,
Drive to Survive.
You're trying to attract new fans, right? You're not just speaking to existing fans. And I think if you're trying to attract new fans, there's no better guy than old mate Nick Kyrgios to start the show. So we got to see a lot of that behind the scenes and, what goes on. And tennis is a lonely sport. It's a very individual sport. Takes a mental toll on you as well when you haven't got, and Kyrgios hasn't got a coach. He hasn't got anything. Old mate.
My dude Nick is like, listen, I got this.
I got it. Like he's legit riding dolo on this thing. I love it. So it was great to sort of see that behind the scenes aspect. I loved it. I haven't had time to watch the rest of the episodes since it's premiered on Netflix, but I definitely will be tuning in for those.
I think if you are not a tennis fan, this would be the perfect way to introduce you to tennis. I think for me, he reminds me of the Allen Iverson era in basketball. Federer's done. Nadal's injured. He's pretty much done. Djokovic, they're pretty much on their way out, right? This introduces the world, not only to tennis, but the new faces who have the potential to be literally the face of the sport. He is Allen Iverson in tennis. When he plays anywhere in the world, you start to see a different type of demo in the crowd. A different demographic is in the crowd. And it's not the purists. It's not the tennis aficionados. And, obviously, tennis is what you would call a privileged sport, right? So you're going to have the bougiest people coming out and, and that's fine. You know what I mean? That's super conservative. That's okay. But now when he play, the hood is coming out. The hood is coming in Wimbledon.
Yeah.
They outside. Yeah. It's almost like a Dykeman type of feel, Rucker Park type of feel when he's playing. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a crossover. And he's the guy doing it. And whether you like tennis or not, that's entertainment.
Yeah.
I've never seen nobody playing at Wimbledon hitting the ball between their legs, serving back a return hit. Like, that's incredible. It's like, did he just do that and get the point?
Yeah, he's ridiculously talented.
He's ridiculously talented. So shout out to Australian Open. Shout out to Netflix. Shout out to Nick Thomas and the rest of the great talent that's featured in that series.
The other thing that I loved was that relationship between Nick and Thanasi.
No doubt.
We've known that they're mates, but just to sort of see...
The footage when they were babies.
Yeah, just to see how close these guys
really are.
And you mentioned Allen Iverson. I like that sort of comparison because I feel like Kyrgios is... he's shifting the culture now.
100%.
Right? He's shifting the culture.
I'm going to 10... He's playing. No
must watch.
Question. Yeah. I'm going.
Yeah. It's a shame they couldn't defend their title because that doubles title that the two of them got last year, and just to sort of see that on-court talk, like, where they're talking to each other and the chest bumping. I love it, man. Like, it was great. So, definitely, I'm definitely going to be tuning into more of those episodes, but I need to see more of more of Nick.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
What else has been happening, man? Listen, before we get on, actually, our producers have told us, we didn't know this, right? After our conversation about that whole LeBron averaging 30 points per game, actually, our producers put up a bit of a poll, and we have the results in. Now, I don't know what they are. You don't know what they are. We're going to go to the producers right now and see and hear what the results of that poll were. Mr. Producer, talk to us.
So the poll was, what was the poll for?
Whether LeBron could average 30 points per game in EuroLeague.
Right. And you were against. Corey was for.
No, I was for. I said he could do it. Corey said no.
Okay. So 67% of the poll was on Corey's side. He couldn't do it.
67% of the people agree with Corey Homicide Williams that LeBron James cannot average 30 points per game in the EuroLeague. All that tells me is 67% of the people are wrong.
Shout out to the people. The people have spoken. They strengthened the argument. There's nothing else to say.
Shout out to the 33% of the people that agreed with me.
Oh, too funny.
That's
funny.
Good. Shout out to all the people that voted in that poll, even though you were wrong. Most of you.
All right. Well, what else did I do this past week? Well, we're still on baby watch. Gabby hasn't popped out yet.
Yeah.
Look, Gabby's chilling. And Gabby's like, look, if you want me, come get me. Sounds about right, like her father. When he's having a good time, he ain't leaving. If you want me, come get me. So we're still we're waiting. We'll give her another week, I'm going to assume, and then we're going to get her.
Going to evict her.
So, we're going to get her. So hold tight, Philly. Hold tight, Philly. Foot Locker duties. I went to Perth for the day.
Saw that. Yeah.
On Sunday. Prahran Summer Jam. Their second street ball event in Perth.
The vibes looked immaculate for that.
Listen, again, why Prahran Summer Jam means so much to me. Obviously, Melbourne, Australia's home away from home, right? And to get that grassroots feel anywhere in the world outside of the Mecca, it's difficult. It really is. It's unmatched. There's only a few places that really do it. And Prahran Summer Jam, I walk into there. Whenever I'm there, I get the vibe like I'm home. And shout out to Foot Locker. Shout out to Nike. Obviously with my relationship and my role with Foot Locker, I'm a part of it, right? So it was epic. And I want to tell all you people out there, the frequent flyer is active. Guy is active.
He's back.
Now, if you don't know Guy, you could find him on Instagram, the frequent flyer.
At the real frequent flyer. Yep.
Right? This is one of the greatest dunkers in the world, in the history of dunking. That's never been in the NBA. There's nothing he hasn't done dunking-wise in the world. World-renowned. Been around the world maybe 3 times doing this, and he's still doing it. He's an OG. And you know what? I don't know how they did it, but they brought him out. And the show he put on, I was like, yo, just give him the check. First of all, I grabbed the mic prior to the dunk contest starting.
Yeah.
The guy who had the mic, he was like, how did you get the mic? I was like, yo, my man, chill out, man. I got this. Anyway, had to set him straight real quick.
Yeah.
We don't play disrespect.
Yeah.
So he didn't know any better anyway. Anyway, put him to the side. I said, look here, all y'all dunkers, y'all here for second place.
Yeah.
So good luck, because everybody, what you all don't know that I do, that's the winner. Good luck. Put the mic back to the next guy, sat down. We started judging. And let me tell you, the great thing about being a professional in dunking, he don't miss dunks.
Nah. And that's the thing. You got to nail them first go, right?
He don't miss dunks.
Yeah.
Guy's been doing this for a while. He's a showman. He gets the crowd involved. It's sport and entertainment as well as execution and focus. And he's mastered that. And shout out to him. And there's no way he's not coming to Melbourne, his hometown in Australia.
You know what I said about Gee? I said
Yeah.
this, I believe it was after the NBA All-Star game last year, right? If you remember, that dunk contest was very lackluster, to say the least. And I remember saying it on a show, another show that I host, the morning, that Monday or Tuesday morning after. I was like, I've seen Gee do better dunks at MSAC than what those NBA guys did in the dunk contest. Like,
Right.
I've seen Gee do some absolutely mind-blowing stuff.
Right.
And like you said, he nails them every single time. Doesn't need 38 attempts or 10
doubt.
attempts. He nails them first go. Like, Gee's been doing this.
Look, I've known Gee, right? I was endorsed by K1X in like 04, 05, something like that, right? One of those 2 years. Gee was with K1X back then.
Yeah.
That's how our relationship began.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've known him for almost 20 years. He's been on top of it for almost that long.
Yeah.
If not, you know what I mean? Like, he's been the guy. There's a lot of other guys, but he has been a premier dunker.
Yeah.
One of the greatest to do it. So I wasn't surprised with what I saw. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
And shout out to the Summer Jam boys, right?
Aim and Daniel, my brothers.
Aim and Daniel, obviously we know those guys.
Jamal Diallo out there holding, he's the wing, their partner in WA that put on an incredible festival is what I'm going to call it. An incredible event experience.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But what Eamon and Daniel have done with this thing, I tell Eamon every time I see him, right? I've known Eamon for 13, 14 years, however long it's been. I was at that first one in 2012. You
showed me the picture.
It was the February before I moved to New York. I moved to New York June of 2012. That was the February. And to see where it started to what it's come to now, right? Like they've built this thing from the ground up, and now to have Jordan Brand involved. How many streetball tournaments have Jordan Brand involved? 3. K54, Dykeman, Prahran Summer Jam.
Listen, that's legendary in itself.
Facts.
In itself. Shout out to my brothers, man. I truly appreciate that they appreciate, street ball culture because everybody doesn't. And even if they do, a lot of tried and failed as far as executing a street ball tournament. The cool thing about Prahran Summer Jam is Prahran Park. If it kind of resembles how it's set up, kind of like Rucker.
Yeah.
Like, you got the projects right there.
That's what I was saying.
Right? And then the park is right there.
Across the road.
So it's like, you want that. It's set up to, if executed correctly, to have that type of vibe. And I just feel the basketball gods was like, they brought me to this place. And it's like, yo, whenever you missing home, just come here.
The universe is talking.
You know what I mean? Like, just whenever you missing home, come here.
I actually said to Eamon I saw him on Tuesday night, and I said to him, because I saw a shot, they released this newspaper sort of promoting the Summer Jam.
The paper's crazy. The newspaper's lit.
Crazy. And there was an image in there from, I don't know if it was last year's Summer Jam, but it was looking from the top down on the court, right? And I said to him, man, this kind of reminds me of when you see the Dykeman court from the top projects looking down. And again, you mentioned, it's got that
it got that feel, man.
It
got that feel. So I know, like, I'm telling you, man, there was one time, yo, man, I was like this close to crying. Like, I was missing home so bad. And they were doing 3x3. They were doing a 3x3 tournament. And it was at Port Melbourne, in the back of Port Melbourne. And it was attached with Colonial Brewery. And I went and won. Essendon beat the shit out of somebody by like 70. So I was super happy because everybody just thought it broke the losing streak for Essendon. I had my Essendon singlet on. So I was like really feeling my team and myself that day. And the second thing was, when I got there, I really needed to be around it. TJ was DJing.
Yep.
The crowd, yo, you talk about community. It's in New York, like when Batman, you need help for Batman, and they put the signal in the crowd, and then he just shows up.
Yep.
That's Prahran Summer Jam. Aiming and then when they put out the bullhorn, The community just comes out. Yo, the vibe was so crazy. I went from feeling sad and wanting to cry to feeling happy and wanting to cry.
Yeah.
Now, that's a shift of emotion. And that's what it did for me. So appreciative and grateful for PSJ and everything that they do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this year's
doubt.
one in Melbourne. First week of Feb, I believe, Corey.
Yeah, first weekend of February. First weekend of February. It's right around the corner.
Right
like
around the
2
corner. I've
weeks.
actually, they've got that Jordan Brand affiliation this year. I got to pick out which Jordans I'm going to be wearing that weekend because
Yeah, like you better bring them out.
I'm going to.
You already know.
Bring them
You
out.
better
Bring them out.
Bring them out.
Actually, I just want to, again, I want to touch on some shoes. I see you've got the True Blue ones on. I've got those, right? So I'm not even complaining. I got those. I do want to add to the whole Lost and Found saga. There we go. I've got those
True
too.
Blues.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. I got them, but I do want to add to the whole Lost and Found saga. Foot Locker is actually doing this week like restocks and all that. And then the first one that they did a raffle for was the Lost and Found. I entered. I got like my sister to enter for me as well. And I still didn't hit. So I'm 0 from 14 at the moment.
We got to figure something out, man. Like,
you know what? At this point, I'm like,
you gave up.
I've given up.
That's
It's just it's purely for content and jokes right now.
Foot Locker, Nike, we got to do something, man. I can't have my brother alongside of me.
Yeah.
I'm holding up shit. And he's telling me about the pain that he's suffering, that he's going through. That's an imbalance we can't have. So we're going to have to figure that out.
I wanted to ask you as well, Corey, because
Yeah.
when we were at that breakpoint thing, you actually put out quite an interesting video. I was right next to you when you were filming it. You were putting out a video saying that you're looking for an agent. You're looking for some management.
Oh, shit.
How's that going?
Well, the response has been pretty good. Shout out to everyone who reached out and wanted to be involved in my career, in my life. I'm going through that process at the moment. I've met with 2. I have like a meeting every day with one.
Yep.
Yesterday was a really good meeting, the first of the 7. Today I'm just coming from one, actually. It was a really good one.
Yep.
Tomorrow, again, like these are all people who I feel who could, probably do some things.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'm not here looking for an agent for NBL. I'm not here looking for an agent for anything that I've already done, right? Or in the space I'm already in.
These are new.
I'm here for people to help open up different doors and bring other opportunities to me outside of the seats and doors that I've already opened myself.
Gotcha.
I want Asia Pacific. I know this quality of service that I provide. I know the experience that I bring, and I know what I've done here. Make no mistake, I know what I've done. I just want to continue to expand on that. I haven't purposely wanted an agent in 6 years. I wanted to build myself personally to a place where I feel I've exceeded my own expectations. I don't worry about anyone else's expectations because I'm going to beat those expectations.
Yeah.
That's no problem because my own expectations are bigger than anyone else's expectations because majority of people don't even know what I can actually do.
Yeah.
So they're already coming with lower expectations, not to no fault of their own, but they just don't know what I can do. I'm literally an alien. There hasn't been a guy like me around here. Like, think about this.
And then sometimes you're kind of pigeonholed as well, aren't you?
I'm not going to get pigeonholed.
Yeah.
People can think they can
that's
attempt
what I mean.
to pigeonhole
that's
me.
what I mean. Yeah.
But like the things that I've already been able to do, being myself, doing it myself. Look what I've been able to do. It ain't easy because if that was the case, plenty of guys would have been able to do it.
Facts.
Right? I'm on myself on television here, being myself. If that was easy, there's a bunch of people that have been lined up that have been able to do this. You know what I mean? I'm getting in rooms by myself. If it was that easy, a bunch of people would be in these rooms. You know what I mean? Opportunities are coming to me just by me being myself.
Yeah.
It might look easy. It might seem easy. It's not easy. You know what I mean? But I've been able to do it being myself, not conforming. And I think that's the biggest superpower that I actually have. So it's about really aligning with people who get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to deal with a guy like me before, exactly like a guy like me, but just get my theory, my mindset, and the things that I want to do. So when I go into these meetings, here's what I want to do. I give them 10 things. They're not expecting none of this shit that I'm saying. So it's like, oh, I don't need you for NBL. I don't need you for anything Foot Locker. I don't need you for anything Nike. I don't need you for anything that I've already on my plate.
I need you for this, this, and this.
This is what I need you for.
Yeah.
Can you do it? I don't need you to answer right now. Because I got several people I need to go through, have a think about it by the first. It's like, this shit is no different than tryouts for a basketball team. What does the GM do? He'll hold open run, and he'll look at the talent. He'll make first cuts. I think these talented athletes, they're all special in their own way. How can they help my team win? This shit is the other way around.
Yeah.
How can you help Corey Williams win? Can these spaces that are open for my crew and for my team, can you add value in those spaces for Team Corey? And that's what I'm doing right now. And
because it's a partnership, you need to have.
It's a unique partnership. I'm looking for, and I'm building a team, and I'm loving this process, and I hopefully will be better because of the alignment of the people that will be entering my space.
Yeah.
So hopefully, good luck to how this thing goes, and please come and let's add value and let's do great things.
Yeah.
Let's build great partnerships
Absolutely.
for a very long time. Let's provide an incredible service. That's the biggest and most important thing, right? Provide a service that's great, that people really not only pay for. It's not about them paying for. It's about giving them what they need.
Correct.
I give you what you need. Everything that I need is going to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do it for a long time. I don't want a quick hit. We have one-hit wonders all the time. Somebody could drop, Shane Larkin dropped 49 once.
Exactly.
Anybody could score a lot once. Consistent all across the board for a very long time is what my goal is, So I'm just hoping that I have people that can come aboard the team and amplify the message with what I can do.
Yeah.
That's what this whole journey, this next level of the evolution of Corey Williams is about.
I'm sure you will definitely find the right partner. All right, CW.
Partners. It ain't one.
Partners.
I'm more than one thing. So I'm going to need more than one person to figure this out. So that's why I say a team.
Yeah. Facts. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Now, we can't take a break yet. I ain't finished yet.
No.
Like, this the last ep.
What you got? Talk
Come
to
on.
me.
While I was in Perth, I met Perth Wildcats general manager Danny Mills.
Oh, shout out to Danny.
Shout out to Danny Mills.
He was actually
Never met him before, never spoke to him before.
So for the people that don't know Danny Mills, he was also with the Philadelphia 76ers for a while. And him and I had actually spoken while he was with the 76ers. I was obviously in New York at the time covering the league. And obviously, we found out about each other, two Aussies in the NBA. We used to have some really good conversations. He seems like a really nice guy. Good to see him back in Australian basketball now, because I know he's got a lot to sort of give back to the sport back here. What did he have to say?
It was a great conversation. Wish them the best because they turned it around. Shout out to John Rillie. What he's been able to do, I feel like that hasn't happened in a long time here. I don't think it's ever happened. I don't care what you did last year for me or the year before. What are you doing today? Mm-hmm. Sat there, bench Blanchfield. Blanchfield has been playing shit basketball. A lot of coaches wouldn't do that. They continue to play him.
Yep.
Coaches sometimes want to play the whole roster in one game. Where's the continuity? You can't do that. And as a result of that, not performing, he and Mitch Norton, right? He sat them. The rotation went to like 6 or maybe 7 max. Then he started winning. There's no coach outside of Vickerman under more pressure in the NBL. Let me tell you why. People are like, he's a first-year coach. He's not under pressure. Yes, he is. Because of the organization that he works for. That's the most successful organization in Australian basketball history. Hell froze over last year because they didn't make finals. They always make finals in their sleep, right? So for them not to make finals last year, the new coach comes in. What do you think is going to happen if they don't make finals this year?
You're gone.
You're gone. Under pressure. And I'm relying on you to perform. And this the shit you giving me? Sit down. This what you giving me? Sit down. I'm rolling with 6. Nobody would have ever done that. Nobody else would have ever done that in that situation. Shout out to John Rillie. Because guess what? That type of move will probably give him more years later down the road. Yeah. You understand? That look, what's the hardest 2 jobs I told you in basketball? A head coach and a GM. I'm relying on you for my life to be my life on the line with you. For my life to extend, it's on you.
Yeah.
And this is what you giving me? Sit down, B. I loved it. And I think the fact that he was coaching in America, he's coming with that. He ain't coming on no laid-back Ozzy. He's not coming on that typical laid-back, it's going to be all right. No, it ain't. My life on the line. I got a family I got to feed with this. And that's what you giving me? Holla at you.
Yeah.
Ty Webster, you available? Pull up. Love it. Shout out to John Rillie. Last one before we go to break.
Yeah.
I met a royal family. I met a king, I met a queen, and I met a princess.
Okay.
I met King Cotton.
All right.
I met Queen Cotton, and I met Princess Cotton. I met the royal family. I met Bryson, his wife, and his daughter. Had a really good conversation.
Can you tell us what that is about, or is that for is that G14 classified?
G14 classified. If I could keep the conversation with Hutchie G14 classified before, I don't think we did up front at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe we did, but I had a conversation with Craig Hutchison a couple months ago in the SCN tent when things were looking horrible out west, and that was a conversation. I told him off the rip, like, this conversation goes nowhere. It's between me and you. And Hutchie's my guy. He's a good guy. I rock with him. Shout out to Hutchie. And same thing. You know what I mean? There's certain conversations it's not for air. But, he know what it is. It's all love.
All right.
Shout out to the Cottons.
Before we go to break, and I hate to sort of end this segment on a sour note, but I do want to
Nothing sour today, baby.
No, this is unfortunately. I do want to send some condolences to the Leader family. Because we heard about the passing of North Melbourne Giants icon Mark Leader a couple of days ago. I was a Giants fan growing up, and I still am, even though they're not around. So I do want to, pass on my condolences to the Leader family.
Condolences.
That was obviously a terrible, terrible loss right there. All right, we're going to take a quick break, C-Dub, and we're going to get right back into it.
No doubt.
All right, we are back, guys, and of course, you know what segment this is. This is the very popular Corey story time. Now, we've heard some great stories from the great man himself over the previous 9 episodes. We've learned a lot about him, his history, how he came up, growing up in New York. What do you got for us today, C-Dub?
All right.
I like that smile there. That means we've got something good coming up.
Look, we all know basketball-wise as a player, some of the things I've been able to do, right, and how it began. And I had to master figuring out how to make something out of nothing. So for a lot of people, that's not easy to do. But for me, I know how to do that better than most. Classic example. I'm on Twitter year 1 in the NBL. FIBA 3x3. Head. Julian DeBrov. Shout out to my brother Julian. At the time, I didn't know Julian. And 3x3 from their page had tweeted me and was like, yo, Homicide, lace him up and come play in 3x3.
Mm.
And right then and there, I said to myself, well, to him, I'm like, well, I don't play anymore, but I can tell you what I can do. DM me. So he hits me. I said, look, obviously with any professional sport played on an international level, world competitive games and tournaments, i.e. Olympics, Commonwealth Games, right? World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
What is the broadcasting team comprised of? You got one play-by-play and the usual other guys are color commentary, and both of those guys usually are ex-greats of the sport.
Correct.
3x3 is a cross between street ball and pro. 3x3 is not NBA. So put NBA aside. Street ball, come on, I'm one of the greatest of all time. Pro, I've had a solid pro career internationally, right? Cool. So I fit that niche. I said to him, I'm commentating now, as you know, and you know what I did when I played street ball. I want to commentate 3x3. He was like, I didn't even think you'd be interested in that. But this is something that's very interesting. Let me get back to you. Hits me back a couple of days. We get on the phone. Once I get on the phone, we good.
Yeah.
Once I get on the phone with you, we good. So I'm like, look, here's the play. How does this not make sense? There's no way this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Anything I've ever put my mind to, I've achieved. You're going to give me this opportunity. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It adds value to what you have going on.
It's putting a round peg into a round hole, basically.
There you go. So here we go. Let's do this. I said, fair enough. Send me anywhere you want me to send me. I'm there. Sends me to Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Under 19 World Cup.
Yep.
I mean, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Do I actually care where I'm going? No, I'm there to do what?
Yeah.
A job, and prove to you, you made the right choice.
Correct.
By signing me to go do this job. I go there, I do good. Now, this thing is serious because I was by myself. It was so cold in Ulaanbaatar, I'm commentating outdoor with a blanket over me.
Damn.
Focused. I don't care about the cold. What am I there to do?
Job.
And do what? Add value to where I could count on him if I need to for the next, because what's my goal in 3x3? I want to be a premier caller for the Olympics. World Cup I did, tick. Shout out to my brother, Kyle Montgomery, the voice. That's the voice of 3x3.
Yeah.
So all I wanted to do was show Julian and the rest of the team I could do this. Put me and Kyle alongside each other. We lighten this up. Next year, 2 years after that, what comes? Olympics. I want Olympics. And I'm letting you know, I want Olympics. Olympics came 2020, COVID, nothing happened. They pushed it back. 2021, Tokyo, COVID Olympics. Yo, we sending you out there. Bet. Kyle had to hold it down in studio in America because he wasn't going to let people that are not 3x3 experts and aficionados in this call this for 3x3, which was the right play to make because he and I would have been on the ground doing whatever we needed to do together down there in Tokyo, right? COVID Olympics. So who's left to cover it in Tokyo? Me. So I'm like, yo, this is it. The stage don't get no bigger.
Yeah.
It's the Olympics. And this is a one-of-a-kind experience because it's the COVID Olympics. No one's in the crowd.
Yeah.
How are we doing this? So, you had like the press area where you got to interview players. You got to watch games. Then after that, I had to host a podcast show by myself. So there's 5 shows every day for 5 days.
Yep.
Opening segment, closing segment, in between every 4 games, you got to do the podcast live, right? On all the social media feeds. 4 games after that, you know, those preliminary round games, right? And you're talking to people all over the world on, I was doing it by myself, literally. We get up 6 in the morning. We eat 7:30. We're on the bus. You got to do the saliva test every day because if you test positive, you can't go, right? So we're getting shuttled from the hotel to the venue. You can't go watch anything else. As soon as that's done out of that area, you're back on the shuttle. Back you go. 6 days. You wake up again. You're on the bus to the venue. You leave maybe 11. Go to sleep. Wake up. You're not sleeping. You're not there to sleep. You are there to work. The schedule was rigorous, but I was so focused in proving myself and my value and delivering on what I said I wanted to do. It just morphed into these other opportunities. Yeah. And again, they left there and was like, yo, Corey,
we love you.
You exceeded all our expectations. Yeah. I even had an opportunity to interview French President Emmanuel Macron.
I wanted to ask you about that because I remember seeing your IG stories.
My bad. I'm going to let you speak. But remember when you asked me, who's the most famous person you met? I was like, I met a couple. Prince Albert of Monaco. Like this Olympics is lit.
Yeah.
You got to understand, you're going to meet so many different people. Yeah. But it was crazy because he had I'm going to let you get back to talk.
Yeah.
But I just want to explain the scene.
The background, yeah.
So I'm in the player zone interviewing a couple players or whatever. I see a big, come on, man. It's one of the most famous presidents
in the world.
In one of the most biggest famous countries in the world. So you could imagine his crew of security.
Yeah.
Press me, his entourage.
He's got the best of the best.
Yo, dude, I was like, let me go over here. Plus, all the interview was a little bit shorter than me. Yeah. So I could easily reach over. I was like, yo, President, what's going on, Mr. President? Like, what's your thoughts on USA beating France? Yo, that was the highlight. That might be the highlight of all interviews I've ever done. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. President Macron. It was dope. That whole experience in itself, I walked away there. Then after day 6, the finals, 3x3, it's lit. It's literally street ball played at the highest level at the Olympics, and the refs is putting a whistle in the pocket.
As they should.
Dude, it's real, it's physical, and it's fast. It's a 10-minute game. And I was truly grateful to call that game and be a part of the most respected, highest level of competition in the world. And I'm looking forward to 2024 Paris.
Yeah, that one's going to be, one's going to be great because the fans will be back in the arena.
Dude, Paris.
You'll have more of a chance to sort of soak up that Olympic atmosphere.
The real vibes.
Yeah, the real vibe. So back to Macron. I remember you posting, I saw it on your IG stories, and I remember laughing at that because it was like, you were just like, Mr. President, and you were just like talking. You gave him the respect that the
that's why I had to hit him with Mr. President.
Yeah, but at the same time, you were talking to him like he was just another dude at the park.
Yo, listen, man. I think the most, and it comes from being a New Yorker. With respect, we don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We come in with respect, and that's what we expect back because we're leading with respect.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Met Obama. If I met Obama, Barack. I wouldn't say Barack.
Barry.
Mr. President.
Barry, what's up?
Mr. President, number 44.
Yeah.
My guy. Respect. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the way I come at people in general, whether you're the president or you an average bear. I come and lead with respect. Yeah. So you're going to feel positivity coming your way from me. Regardless, even if I made a mistake and didn't approach you as far as with the right title, you wouldn't say, oh, my name is this. You're talking this. You wouldn't say that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's plenty of people that come to me with love and be like, hey, Hurricane, how you doing? I'll be like, man, it's all love, man.
Yeah.
It's Corey, man. You know, they're not coming with malice or negativity.
Yeah.
So you never mind that because you know it's coming from a good place.
That's right.
You know, so that was it was a unique experience, but it started with, imagine if I lacked foresight, and it started with the tweet from Julian, right? So if I didn't answer that back looking like, look, here's what I can actually do.
Who knows?
That would have never even occurred.
Right. Yeah.
So this story is more just about having the ability to not lack foresight and actually see a service you can provide and act on it. I'm going to make you see what you don't even see.
Yeah.
And you know, that's when you're making something out of nothing, you have to be able to do that and act on it and execute when you get that opportunity.
There was another guy that I don't know if you interviewed him, but again, I remember seeing him on your IG stories, and that was Yao Ming.
I interviewed Yao real quick. You know, he doesn't really like to talk a lot. You know, and imagine this, you know, being that huge, you're talking all the time.
Yeah.
People are just like, whoa, you're so big. And it was brief.
Yeah.
It was brief. But he was there. Like, he was there. Like, everybody's there.
Yeah.
So it's not really like, oh, I want to interview this, I want to interview that. It was like, you know, like, yeah, like what you think of 3x3, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was dope. It was real dope, man. I really, really appreciated that experience, and I'm looking forward to Paris 2024 because Hami will be in the building.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to be back with the final listener questions of Season 1 of Upfront with Corey Williams. All right, C-Dub, we are back. Like I mentioned, this is the final listener questions for Season 1. We've had some great ones being sent through. Again, man, we appreciate everybody that's taken the time
Shout out to
DM us, to send us questions. And again, like you mentioned in the opening of the show, please, like, leave a review. Let us know what you want to see in Season 2.
No doubt.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you want to see more of. And yeah,
I need you to definitely, everything Nick just said, like, subscribe, leave a detailed message on what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you want to see more of.
And
Let's do it.
And if you want to see Nick continue the Lost and Found saga,
we're going to fix that. We got to do something.
All right, C-Dub, let's get into it. We're going to start off with some quick hitters here. We've got one from Reese Daniel. Reese says, CJ has the players, but does he have the locker room?
You know, my thing is this with that debacle down there. It's about pride, right? We're men, we feed our family with this. You got to lock up and play defense. You're not winning anything if you're giving up 90 points per game in the NBL. It just won't happen. And, you know, it's a lot of one-on-one play on the other end. Like, they playing street ball out there. Street ball don't work in the pros. And that's a classic example of it. Your talent sometimes, if it's close enough, you'll somehow figure out a way to make a couple of the right plays, calls will go your way, and then you'll get a win. But with a team like that, it's like, is that the team that beat Phoenix? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is that the team that made history for NBL? Like, look at, they're not making playoffs. That's a good thing for as far as how it looks competition-wise with the league. But it's a bad thing if you are Adelaide, you know, supporter, or you're on that team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Craig Randall left. Yeah, he was a distraction and for all that. But all y'all said all of that shit about him, but where y'all at now? Like, have y'all stepped up the right way? You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to say, yeah, you know, him. What?
Yeah.
Sitting outside the top 6. Come on, man. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves down there with that roster y'all put together and outside the playoffs. Come on, man. I ain't even talking about that. It's over for them, man. Next question we got, my brother.
Next question comes from old mate Jimmy Hurlston. Now, shout out to Jimmy. He's all right for a Lakers fan, this guy here. I like Jimmy. Jimmy wants to know, he says, can our man Mitch be considered for MVP if Southeast Melbourne Phoenix miss out on the playoffs?
I know that's my man Jimmy Burgers, right? That's the homie, right?
Yep.
So Jimmy Burgers, I'm going to tell you this. First thing I'm going to say is this. when you going to invite me to give me some burgers? Now, we've been talking for a couple of years, you know, and our relationship has gotten better as of late. But come on, man. Like, I need to know when you there. We could sit down in that beautiful VIP room. I think I need to come over there a few times and watch some games back there.
Yeah,
Apparently,
he's
Jimmy
got a great setup over there.
I think that setup should be, you know, it's in Collinwood. It's in the wood, right?
Yeah.
And we need to come over there and, like, just do, like, just a finals type of vibes once the finals begins.
Yeah.
Days I'm not commentating games, like, come over there and watch games and chill. So, like, let's talk about that. You know what I mean? Before we talk about what we think about Mitch. So you need to answer that first. But anyway, DM me that part.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah.
Please tell me the question again.
The question was, can our man Mitch be considered for MVP if Southeast Melbourne Phoenix miss out on the playoffs?
Here's my honest opinion with MVP. You got to be top 4 to be considered MVP. Mitch Creek has had an incredible season. Yeah. But due to them dropping that 6, and he was big points-wise, but losses are losses, right? Like, you drop 6 consecutive games. He still put up really good numbers, but you're losing, right? Xavier Cooks, on the other hand, has been in first pretty much all year and has put up really good numbers consistently, and their team, the furthest they went down, is second. So I don't know what would have to happen. A lot of teams would have to lose in between, and Mitch would have to run it all the way out and get somehow back to third.
Yeah.
To be in consideration. It's going to be hard, but I believe that 6-loss streak, losing streak, affected him.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. So I don't believe he'll win MVP.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't care what league you play in, NBL, NBA. Like, you can't win the MVP if you're finishing 8th, as in the NBA, or 6th or whatever. You've got to be one of the top 2, 3, and 4th is
100%.
Yeah, the
100%.
lowest. Yeah, otherwise I don't think you can be considered.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the bullshit that happened. I think maybe my first year, not my first year, my rookie year before I got the job full time. I was here. Brian Conklin played with Townsville, and they finished dead last, I think, and he got MVP of the league. I don't know who greenlit that. I would have slapped them. You don't reward
last place.
Yeah. That's the dumbest shit ever. I don't care who did it, who co-signed it, who greenlit it. Somebody, and this is the thing where I'm saying, like, this is the thing for me. How can you have a panel of people co-signs this vote? I don't care if he's the best player on the last team. He ain't MVP. Last place?
I'm with you.
MVP? Not in playoffs? MVP? That makes the league look Mickey Mouse. So I'm glad things changed. But, like, I could never respect the league that does that. I'm glad things changed now.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous, dude. Last place.
I'm with you 100%.
Come on, bro.
But I'd even go so far as...
And look, Brian Conklin was dead nice.
Yeah.
But if you're dead nice on the last place team, you shouldn't get MVP.
I say that in the NBA too, when Westbrook got the MVP and they were the 6th seed. Now, I get he averaged a triple-double, had it been done for 50 years or whatever. But how valuable are you if your team just finished 6th?
100%. 100%.
So I'm with you.
You can be first team All-NBA averaging a triple-double. We got to give you something.
Yeah.
But you ain't getting MVP.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, next one comes from Tim Jacobs. He says, I see you're back in the gym, man. What is your number 1 cheat meal? It would be Easy's Burgers if Jimmy came to the table.
Come on, Jimmy. We on your ass up here today. Come on, Jimmy. You got to figure something out, man. So the thing is this, right? At one point, I was working out hard, right? 28-day fitness challenge, all of that. But at some point, like, I got bored. Really, all honesty. I got bored. And for me, as an athlete, I can't just go to the gym by myself. I'm used to somebody pushing me, right? And I got to look at you and be like, this a machine right here. So I can't be here BSing. You understand? So I need somebody better than me in that space to direct and tell me, let's do this.
Yeah.
The competitive nature in me can't say no because I'm such a competitor and you're better than me. So I don't want you to feel and look at me inferior.
Yeah.
That's the type of trainer I need. That's the type of trainer I got. So I've done a whole lot of cheating as far as meals are concerned within those last 2 months. My cheating meal is just like champagne, good desserts, eating very well.
Yeah.
Like that's all cheat meals. Now today's day 2. Obi's no joke.
Yeah, I saw you.
Like, listen.
Waddling in here today.
I can't walk. Like, listen, man, Obi's no joke.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother Obi. Actually, that's Chima's brother. Chima, shout out to Chima. Chima's with Sacramento Kings, played ACB last year, killed. Went to the league, played with Sacramento, just recently released, signed EuroLeague with Monaco.
Yeah.
And he hits me like, yo, listen, bro, like, pull up, 25th, May. You know what's May 25th? Something on my bucket list. Something on my bucket list. Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Formula One in Monaco.
Yeah.
He's playing there. Bro, listen to me. In the house in Jamaica, that's going to be built in a couple years. It's going to be a big, you see how big this is?
Yeah.
I want an image of me. It's going to be me, Philly. Like Philly's sister, the fam. My bow tie going to be half off. My collared shirt one up. And you're just going to see this. I'm on a hot streak, and the dice is going.
Yeah.
I don't know who's taking this picture.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of chips because I'm going to be on a streak. That is the photo, and that's going to depict basically what Corey's life has been like. So when he hit me with that, I said this a couple years ago because I had a good friend of mine. Shout out to Ben Fitzsimmons, right? Wolf Gang in Adelaide.
Yeah. I know Ben.
Ben Fitz.
Yep.
Good man. I lived he's a Formula One head. Like every Formula One he's been to, he consistently goes. He goes, I don't know if I was here or May. I was here. Yeah, maybe I was in New York at the time. He goes, I remember you said when I was home what my Instagram stories was looking like. However you felt, I was so inspired. Like, my guy moves different, right? So the experience, I felt like I was there. Like, this shit was crazy. And I was like, listen, I need to go to Monaco. My man Smalls went too. Shout out to Smalls. Smalls been to Monaco for Formula One and in the casino. Did it A1 too.
Yeah.
But Ben, and Smalls did it like Ben, but Ben documented everything.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get there. So when Chima hit me like yesterday, I was like, I don't know how old Gabby's gonna be. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of excuse I would make up to be like, yo, Philly, look.
I'm just going to have to get some milk.
I got Foot Locker duties in Monaco. I got to get there.
Yeah.
And I would take you, but Gabby's too young to travel, so I'll be back in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to everybody I mentioned, B. But Obi, I'm just glad to be, motivated in that way to get back in shape. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing is this, like, if you're going to not train, don't train to where, like, if you're not going to train, don't completely fall all the way off.
It's hard to get back.
It's too hard to get back.
Yeah.
So, like, the motto for me is just train to look good naked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not training for no other reason.
Yeah.
Like, it'll take care of everything else.
Yeah.
Health, all of that. I'm training to look good naked.
Yeah.
That's it. Shout out to Obi.
Shout out to Obi. All right, last of these quick hitters.
Oh, and shout out to Grip. That's the gym that I'm attending right now. Yeah, for sure.
All right, last of the quick hitters comes from Yeti Boy 45. He says, "Do you remember your first dunk in a game?"
Damn, yo. You know, it's crazy as a hooper.
It's crazy because it was with the Melbourne Tigers, wasn't it?
Oh, man. Come on, man. Man, shit, I don't even remember a dunk with Melbourne Tigers. Word. I was the layup king. I knew I wasn't, I ain't dunking, cocking it backwards. So I said, let me just be great at one thing I could be great at and hang my hat on that.
Yeah.
Like I was the layup king. So I don't remember, and that's crazy. Like every hooper should remember their first dunk. I don't even remember. Sorry, bro.
Let's just say Melbourne Tigers anyway. All right, and the last question we've got here was actually one that came via Instagram. It comes from Heidi. Now, Heidi wrote on Instagram, she goes, I was in Africa last month. President Obama is part owner of the basketball league there. She goes, I met someone indirectly involved who claimed that they've been working on bringing a Corey Williams aboard. She goes, is that Corey Homicide Williams? And then she also asks, and you touched on this a little bit earlier, so it'd be good to, expand on this. She goes, what's your thoughts on the Olympics being in Paris?
Read that first question again.
She said, I was in Africa last month. Obama is part owner of the basketball league there. I met someone indirectly involved who claimed that they've been working on bringing a Corey Williams aboard. Is that Corey Homicide Williams?
Well, no one's contacted me about that. So the thing about my name, it is common. Yeah. So as far as that, no one's contacted me regarding that.
Yeah.
What was the second question?
Your thoughts on the Paris Olympics?
One of my favorite cities in the world. Paris.
C'est magnifique.
Listen.
I hope that was right.
It's right to me.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
It just takes me to a different place. It's such a beautiful city. I get, so many people French people are so arrogant. They think it's all about that. Look, I get it because that's how New Yorkers are. You know what I mean? I totally get it. And what's not to love about France like that? Art, food, fashion, sports, right? Great tourist attractions. Champagne is made there. Wine is made there. Cognac is made there, right? So, what's not to love about France?
Yeah.
Right? But specifically, what's not to love about Paris? I look, Quai 54, great street ball, right? So whatever the Eiffel Tower,
I was about
the
to say,
Louvre.
I was about to say, whatever.
Hello.
Whenever you've got the Eiffel Tower as a backdrop to anything that you do, what else do you want,
Look, I love Paris. I've hung out there. Nightlife, I've done it all when I went to Paris. I played in France many years ago, and man, Paris, it just takes me to a different place. Beautiful, I love it.
I've never been, and look, I don't follow French football, but one thing on my bucket list is I want to go to a PSG game against Marseille, which is the big rivalry there. I've seen footage of that thing. That looks insane. So, that's definitely on my bucket list. And I definitely wouldn't mind going to K54, but I got to go when Guy's there to be able to show me around because I got to do it official.
You want me to give you my last story about Paris? So, when I was playing there, obviously back then, I was married with Bella's mom, right? So this was the last game before Christmas break. We playing PSG, right? We beat them. So I'm in my hotel, and I'm like, well, this is your last night. You're in Paris. The team I played for was Cholet. So obviously I wasn't in Paris. I was in Cholet. So I'm at the hotel, and I'm like, you leave tomorrow. Your flight's at 8 a.m. It's only 10. You'll make it. Either stay in a hotel or do one hard night in Paris.
I know which option you picked.
And just go straight on the flight.
Yeah.
It's your first time ever in Paris.
Yeah.
Nah, I should just stay. I need to make the flight, You don't want to hear Angel's mouth. So I'm like, nah, I'll just go out for a little bit. Hit my man up, because, you know, K1X, they big in Europe, right? And I hit up one of the photographers, because I did a photo shoot in Cholet at a castle. Like, we did it in the castle. Like, yo, we did some cool things, some cool sights with this, with K1X. So shout out to them. But I called a photographer up. I'm like, yo, what's up? He was like, not Kev. I was like, yo, what's up? I'm in Paris. We just finished playing. Where's at? Like, let's hang out. He was like, yo, I got a big shoot tomorrow. I can't go, but go to this club and I'll let them know you coming. You good. Went. Line was crazy. So I'm like, yo, I'm in Paris. Like, turn up, champagne, this. Yo, I got home. I might have got home like 3. I'm like, do not ever do this. You know, you got a flight to catch. Be like, I'll just go to sleep for a couple of hours. I'll get up. My stuff is packed. I'll get up, shoot to the airport. Good. Yo, I woke up 2:00 in the afternoon. Missed the flight. Fam. Phone blowing up. Maids knocking on. I was out cold.
Damn.
I was like, fuck. First thing, what I'm going to tell Angel? Forget the flight that I missed. How am I going to spin this? Yo, she's blowing me up. I was like, you know, at that point, you so in trouble, you can't call. I just got a text.
Yeah.
I was like, yo. I said the wildest thing. I can't even say what I said because that can't go to air. But I was just like, look, it was a national security kind of thing.
Oh, God.
So everything got shut down in Paris. I said something to that. Y'all can figure out what I probably could have said.
It was some G14
It was some G14 classified. Either way, it did not work. Got home. Oh, man. And it was Christmas break. It was just notice, it was a very expensive Christmas break. Anyway. That's what we got. That's the last story I got for you. But Paris, man, you ain't been to Paris. You got to go.
Yeah.
And if you went, go back.
There you go. I think we're going to end it on that note.
Man, listen, y'all. It's been awesome. It's been dope. Thanks for rocking with us. Like, subscribe. Appreciate all the feedback. I'm Corey, and this is Nick Medalinos. And we out of here.
We out.
Peace.